boxing to this day. Jeez. I don't know what it is.
There we go. Raining in. What's up? What's up?
What's going on, brother? You good, yeah?
Quarantine.
Oh boy.
How are you, man?
I'm all right, I'm keeping all right. I'm just having to keep stimulated, man. How about you?
Yeah, same, man. Just trying to stay focused, going for my runs with the
Mm,
kids. It's just been crazy, man. Like,
mm.
it's getting real serious out here, man.
I know, man. It's just about balancing everything because, at a time like this, it's about using what you can and doing the best of the situation around you. And that's really the message to get out of there right now, is a key word for me is resilience.
Yeah, that's it.
I think every fighter watching this and coach and every athlete, really, resilience is the key word right now because you've got to adapt, overcome, and just make the best of your situation and what you've got around you. And just, like you said, carry on because there is stuff you can still be getting on with as a boxer and an athlete. You're still allowed to go outside. You're still allowed to do your runs so far, unless they put us on complete lockdown,
Well, I was gonna say, who are you and what do you do? Let everyone know because obviously I'll put this up on YouTube as well, your section, so everyone can find out who you are and what you represent.
Cool. So my name's Bobby. I'm the head coach of a club in Brixton, quite a new club called Afewee Boxing Club, in the Brixton Recreation Centre. We've probably been going for about 5 seasons. So we're quite a new club, and we train obviously kids in amateur boxing, and we're quite big on training the young ones. Because of the area that we're in, we get quite a lot of them come through, which is good. And then we just basically use the sport of boxing to keep them on the right track and everything else. So I'm a coach there.
So with your fighters at the moment, how are you managing to keep them motivated? Because it's very easy to just eat cake and
It's real easy because we're bored. When people get bored, that's when the problems really start. But I say to my fighters, what's really important is setting yourself targets, even at a time like this. Setting yourself little targets can be really helpful. So I'll say to them, right, your target for this week is to make sure you do this amount of shadow boxing, do these type of runs. I'll send them circuits, and they got to get specific times on their circuits, and just the little ways to keep them motivated, little incentives along the way, because we've got a few fighters where before this all happened, they were on the verge of boxing for titles and in championships, and they've gone from training at that level to kind of just hitting a plateau. And that's also all the kids underneath them, the ones that were coming regularly just for the sake of liking the gym and training. So it's about trying to keep everyone engaged. But I'd say setting goals has been really important, setting them a weekly program and reviewing it and changing it every week, and as well, and trying to make it adaptable and individual as best as I can for them, because boxing's an individual sport and they all need their own little certain technical and tactical bits to work on depending on what level they are. So that's what
everyone's different.
Everyone's different, yeah.
So how long have you been a boxing coach? Did you box yourself?
Yeah, I was about 14. Didn't have a lot of bouts, but I boxed until I was 14. But I was in and out of sports since then. So I didn't really stick to it. That was my problem. So I got into coaching in my early 20s. I'm 30 now. Yeah. Don't look it. You know what I mean? But I started coaching in my early 20s. About 22, I started going around schools and delivering non-contact boxing programs in schools. And from there, I heard about this club in Brixton that was starting a new club, and they wanted volunteers. So I got involved as a volunteer, just like most people in this sport of amateur boxing, volunteer coaches and everything else, and then worked my way up, got qualified, and then there was an opening for the head coach position. So I went for that, got that. And then I've been coaching competitively since the age of 25. That's the first time I was in a competitive corner when I was 25. So 5 years ago now, but it feels like about 10 years because a year is a long time in boxing, and you learn so quickly, and you have to learn all the time. And where I was kind of thrown into it, I never had that sort of backing. Like in some clubs, you've got, you might be the son of a coach, or you might be coming up through another coach, so you get to learn the rope, which is good. But I kind of had to learn it as I was going along. But I wouldn't change that for the world, because I learned so much doing it that way. Making mistakes, learning from them, and now I've got a whole team of coaches who support me, support the club, train the kids and help the kids every week. So yeah, we're doing quite well down there.
How was your season going until this point? Because I know you had a couple boxers at the National Youth Championships.
Yeah,
How was the season going in general,
the season
leading
was
up to
going
that
good.
point?
Yeah, it was a shame because we got one boxer in particular, a girl called Vivian Parsons, who's a very good girl. She's on the England development team, and she was boxing she was in the youth finals, you know. So she was meant to be boxing because it got rearranged because of the incident at the original youth championships.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. But she was meant to be boxing in a few weeks, and obviously this all just got stopped, and that was a really big blow because she'd been training like an absolute warrior for years. Yeah, got another kid who was in the youth championships, but also the kids who were starting to have their first bout as well, because it's not just about the ones that were boxing at national level. We have kids coming up 10, 11, 12 years old who were looking to box in their first bout. So it's quite a big blow across the whole board. But the biggest blow is probably the fact that obviously the gym has had to be closed, like many other gyms across the country, where young people and adults alike don't get to use sport anymore for a while, you know, as a means to stay mentally fit and physically fit. But, you know, look, we're all in the same boat at the moment. So like I said, it's about resilience, it's about adapting and doing the best you can, because you can still stay fit and healthy, you know. That's the main thing right now, just to stay healthy, man.
So if I was your boxer,
We've done a couple rounds of pads, haven't we, before?
Nah, it's very good, man. Very good, man. But yeah, if I was your boxer, what sort of program would you give me for next week? Just a 1 week program.
I'd assess your current fitness level and stuff like that. But once that's all out of the way,
Let's say I'm almost there.
yeah. I know you look after yourself, Reekz. You stay in shape. But I'd say it'd be a combination. It'd be a combination of cardio. So you still got to keep your running going, at least twice a week, twice a week, because what that does, that keeps your weight down, that keeps you mentally focused, mentally stimulated, that keeps a certain level of aerobic fitness within you, physically. So the running is important, but different types of runs. So I'd set you some running drills to do. Shadow boxing, one of the most old school boxing drills, but still one of the most used and effective, because shadow boxing helps your muscle memory, keep everything going, you know, technically gets your visualization. So shadow boxing, but specific drills, you know. When you say shadow boxing should always be specific. Someone's trying to ring me while I'm doing this, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to put on Do Not Disturb, man.
Yeah,
They can see you out here.
Yeah, hopefully they'll stop.
To be fair, I'm not on Do Not Disturb, so.
Yeah, but specific shadow boxing drills, you know, again, according to your style and everything else. A fitness circuit. You know, the good thing about all this sort of stuff I'm saying is you can do it. You know, you can do it at home. You can go running, but you can do the shadow boxing exercises at home. You can do the circuit training at home. Circuit training should be boxing specific as well. So not just a random circuit, but if you're boxing, we boxing 3-3s at the moment, 3-2s, whatever it is, whether it's 6 or 9 minutes, make your circuit specific to that time and just hit it hard, you know, so you're still keeping your fitness as well as your technical and tactical ability as a boxer.
You're gonna have me fighting ready, yeah? Fighting fit.
You know, you're welcome down, man, anytime. You're welcome down.
So what are you doing for yourself apart from setting programs to keep yourself sane, to keep your mind going so that you don't get stale yourself?
Do you know what? At a time like this, where you've got so much time on your hands, before obviously the coaching was pretty much becomes your life and everything else. But now, if I do, because I post videos on my Instagram about boxing drills that you can do, so you can see that, but that doesn't take all day. So then you realize you've got like the rest of the day to be doing, okay, what am I going to do now, because the boxing bit is done. So I started reading, you know, I'm reading a book at the minute called The Alchemist, brilliant book, positive book, yeah, check it out. So different things. I'm even trying to learn Spanish. We just got a new Cuban coach that's joined the gym, really good coach. and obviously the language barrier. His English is good anyway, but just to help him along, you know, I'm trying to see if I can learn a bit of Spanish while he's learning English, you know, so it's good. But I think just trying different things, like if there's one positive about a situation like this now, is that you've got time. I read something the other day that really stuck with me. It said, you're never going to get a chance to focus so much on yourself as you have now, you know, because you've literally got days where we're being told stay at home, you know, so you've got time to really work on yourself and look at what you're doing, grow in other areas, you know, forget what your main area is. For a minute I had to forget, not just boxing, but now I've got a chance to kind of grow in other areas and maybe do things that I've hadn't had a chance to do for a long time, or learn something completely different, a new skill, you know, altogether. So I'm just trying to give myself little goals, man, all the time to try and keep myself busy, because I'm not a good person when I'm not busy, man. I'll tell you, I'm not a good person. I have to be active all the time.
No, I feel you, man. All right then, Bobby, man. It was nice to have you on. You're the first.
Nice. Yes,
Always got my back, man. But yeah, I have this put up on YouTube eventually. See who else wants to come on and talk about their boxing life and that. And yeah, man. I don't know how often I'm going to be doing this. Obviously, a few people have asked me to do it, so I thought, why not give everyone a chance to speak about themselves? You know, how they're feeling.
That's it.
Yeah,
Come out, speak about yourself. Tell us what you do, and you know, other people are watching it and they can learn from it at the same time. So, thanks for having me, bro. I really appreciate it. But we'll catch up soon, yeah.
No, bless up, man.
All right, bro.